This disc is made up of recycled plastic, and maybe not Gatorade plastic, but hopefully you get it. This disc is made by a company called AGL. That stands for above ground level. They use 100% recycled plastic, and if that's not good enough, it is also made right here in the USA by teaming up with Gateway Discs. I have in my hands today one of their mid-ranges, which is the Magnolia, aka the MAG for short. The MAG comes in at 5502, and if those flight numbers sound pretty familiar, that's probably because they're the same exact numbers as the Truth. Now, even though these discs have the same flight rating, they honestly feel nothing alike, which was a surprise to me. In fact, the MAG reminds me more of how a Buzz SS feels, only the MAG has a slight bead on its rim. Now, when I first got this disc in hand, it immediately reminded me of an Envy, and I know an Envy is a putter, but the Magnolia is so flat on the top and has such a shallow rim that it kind of just gave me that sense of feel of the Envy. Now, I got this disc in their woodland plastic, which is one of their base plastics, and let me tell you, this thing is extremely grippy. Just listen. This plastic feels very good in hand, and when I was out earlier today throwing this in the rain, I still had excellent grip with it. Now, I expect this plastic to become softer and softer as I throw it, and I am also assuming that it's going to become very beaten in very quickly, considering I already have a few dents after hitting just a couple trees. I am very impressed with this disc. Let's see how it flies. Man, oh man, I like that. I like that a lot. Flew way more stable than it did on my first shot. That is the best flick forehand mid-range shot I think I've ever thrown in my life. Wow, this disc flew honestly great for me. It flew pretty much how I had imagined, considering it has the same flight rating as the Truth. When I push this disc out on a flat release, it really just wants to go dead straight with the slightest amount of fade. Although on that second shot, I claimed that it was a little bit more overstable than I had thought, but it turns out that I threw it on a slight hyzer and it really just rode that hyzer. The disc had no instant where it wanted to flip up to flat and go straight. And so if you want this disc to go dead straight before hyzering out, you're definitely gonna have to make sure it's on a flat release. Like I had mentioned before, I hit a few trees, got a few dents around the outer rim here. So I'm assuming give it a few more rounds, hopefully more than a few more rounds, but give it some rounds and this disc is going to be able to hyzer flip, and it's probably gonna happen pretty quickly considering how soft this plastic is. As far as the Annie release, it did ride Annie for some time, but it always kind of faded out. Now, I did throw kind of high and lofty Annies, which means the disc had time to come out of it, but nonetheless, it had enough stability to get out of the Annie and kind of land on hyzer. When I threw it forehand, I honestly was not kidding. That was probably the best mid-range forehand shot that I have ever thrown. So as far as the forehand grip, it honestly feels great. I think because how shallow this disc is and the rim is very smooth, it kind of just fits very comfortably in my hand. Add that to the fact it had enough stability not to roll over, especially with my wobbly forehand, I would call that a win. Now, if I were to compare it to the Truth, it's really, really similar. I would say that distance-wise, they go about the same. I didn't feel like one had extra glide over the other. When I threw this at more of a high speed throw, it felt like it definitely wanted to travel straighter before hyzering out. I did get it a little bit low, but all in all, I just felt like at a hard throw with the mag, it just goes dead straight and it really doesn't fade all that much. Now with the Truth, I think you can get a little bit more fade out of it possibly, but it's really just kind of hard to tell because they are so similar, and I threw one a little bit lower and the Truth was just a little bit higher. I would say it's one of those comparisons that they are very, very similar. So a amateur like myself, I personally don't see a big difference. But the big thing with the mag is I just feel like it is so much better feeling in the hand. It has such a better grip in my opinion. And I'm not really talking about the plastic, but the mold in general just feels much, much better. It's much flatter and much smoother of a rim, and honestly just feels a lot better than the Truth does, in my opinion. Regardless, that is kind of my thoughts over the AGL Magnolia. I think this thing has a place in my bag because it is a bit more stable than my Buzz. My Buzz is getting relatively straight. It used to fly kind of similar to this, but I think this could take that next stability up and really do me some good in my bag. Have you guys thrown one of these puppies? If you have, let me know what you think of it down in the comments. If there's any videos you would like to see, let me know those in the comments as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the next one.